This is a cost of living in the Philippines, and as you can see, I have been shopping. Now we're going to go over approximately 20 tool items and some specialty food items that are and are not available in the Philippines. So let's start off with my a unique purchase is a foldable ladder, and it's an 8-foot high aluminum ladder, and it has locking mechanisms that are made out of steel. It holds 250 pounds, and it folds down into a nice little 1.5 foot by 10 inch by 30 inch high little pile of metal. But this eventually will be, when I raise the bed that you see here, the bed itself is going to be approximately as high as this light, or just about chest height. So I will use that ladder in a U-shaped, and I will put plywood on top, and I have rails in the bathroom made out of ship's lines that I will use. So those are my plans for the ladder. So now let's move on to the tools. This is a Stihl chainsaw. It is a Stihl. It's not a knockoff. It's got an 18-inch blade that's sticking out of the top there. Small one. It's the smallest one they sell. It's 10,000 pesos. Now I bought that because I had the option to either buy a skill saw for 6,000 pesos plus a blade for another 500 or 600 pesos, and then an extension cord for another 500 pesos, having an investment of 7,500 pesos into a skill saw, but I wouldn't be able to use it on the beach if I wanted to cut a log, or if I wanted to cut a tree down, or just if I want to cut something when there's a blackout, because when there's a blackout, there's no electric. So I bought the chainsaw to save money on three other pieces of tools: the blade, the skill saw, and the extension cord. Now I also purchased my own Milwaukee grinder for 5,000 pesos. 5,000 pesos. And the reason I bought the grinder is the Milwaukee grinder is because it has the locking switch on the side. The other ones have the switch in the back. And if you're starting to get tangled up in an extension cord, the closer your fingers are to the switch, the better. So that was 5,000 pesos unassembled, but it doesn't come with a blade. However, the blades here are cheap. This is one type of a Lotus blade, 399 pesos. This is a Lotus blade for wood, 299 pesos. It does not fit into that shroud. I will get a piece of aluminum and make my own shroud. These grinding blades are 69 pesos. It's a DeWalt grinder. However, if you want to do cutting, like cutting pipe cutting, now this one with the metal insert in the middle, 139 pesos. This one without a metal insert, 39 pesos. A hammer, a little 14-ounce hammer, 150 pesos. Now we get into, this is a carbide tip bit. They're about $3 up to a 1/4 inch, and then they get a little pricey after a 1/4 inch. But I didn't buy any, but I can tell you they go right up to 250 pesos once you get past that. And that's close to $6 for a bit. And I get a little bit upset when I give somebody $3 for a drill bit, because without exaggeration, I have $40,000 or $50,000 worth of drill bits and lathe bits and bits that are 1.5 inches in diameter and 4 foot long for drilling through pilings, wooden pilings, and 24 by 24 inch whalers. You need a you need a 1-inch chuck, and it's a 2-horsepower drill, but when it was electric, but now it's all hydraulic. You need 2 men on each side of the drill, and 1 man hand on his has to be quick on the trigger, because the drill will spin you around and crush you into a bulkhead. So, but I do have $40,000 or $50,000 in drill bits, and I have a whole milk crate full of these small individual milk crates, and that's a little depressing, especially when I pay $1.50 for a standard 5/16 bit. But that's what it is. Now I paid $2 and change for another 5/16 bit. This is a high carbon drill steel. This one is good for soft cold rolled steel. This one is good for carbon steel drilling. This bit was a cheap bit. It's good for mild steel and wood, 169 pesos. Now I needed a 3/4 inch wood bit, and they were about 200 pesos for an Irwin, IRWIN, Irwin drill bit. I think I have one of those around here somewhere, but no, I didn't buy it. So for 309 pesos, I got the hole saw and a paddle bit. And I only go through bamboo, so I won't have much trouble. Now, what's pricey always, everywhere you go, is a good file. Hardened steel files are hard to come by, a good file, and this one is, and you could tell by tapping it onto a piece of ceramic, tile, or a glass bottle. You can hear it if you know what you're listening to. And that's besides the point. That file cost $6, 350 pesos. 350 pesos. It's not marked. Now these washers here that you see here, the washers are, these are 2 pesos each, and the smaller ones are 1 peso each. They are not galvanized. They are just punched cold rolled steel. Now, for a kilo of small nails that you see here, 60 pesos for a kilo. For a little bag of smaller nails, 1/2 inch long, that's about 25 pesos, because it's a specialty item. Now, black drywall screws, everybody can relate to that. The 3 prices are 58 pesos, 90 pesos, and 120 pesos respectively. So this is 58 pesos for 100 pieces, 1.25 inches. 90 pesos for 100 pieces, 2 inches, and 120 pesos for 2.5 inches, 100 pieces. Okay, so that covers that. Now let's go over here, and we have the drill that you already know, a Mikita hammer drill. This model, 1630, 5,000 pesos. Mikita N1900B, 6,000 pesos. The life jacket I bought for a friend of mine that doesn't know how to swim yet, but she will soon. Okay, we have one more item over here. Item number 622 pesos for a can of Boysen paint. 1 gallon of Boysen semi-gloss acrylic paint. It's a good paint. I have washed my desk over here. I have washed this off many times. This is where I usually do some sanding or something like that, and you can see that this is just 1.5 coats on a piece of plywood. Okay, so what else is there to show you? Imported varnish. A pint of varnish is 43 pesos. A pint of lacquer thinner, 38 pesos. They have better varnish and they have better lacquer thinner, but I didn't need it. This is an roach. It kills any kind of bug. It was 258 pesos. about $6, but you could make 10 gallons or more. Now there are other food items that are not available in the Philippines. Like for instance, if you want Grace soup, impossible to get Grace soup here. They have other brands that are similar, but nothing satisfies certain people like a bowl of fresh Grace soup. Now you can get Herbama here, Herbama, and that's why Mr. Bama, he is over there protecting the Herbama, because sometimes when you run out of Grace soup, you have to use another kind of soup, so you add some Herbama into the new soup. Those are the things that you need to know. So if you need any Grace soup, you have to get that in America and import that. Now, coffee does not come here in grinds, because they don't make coffee. It comes in powdered instant coffee. 99% of everybody in the Philippines uses that. This is 120 pesos. It was on sale. Mega tripped, mega sale. Mega tipped, mega sale. If you buy 3 of these, normally it's 160 pesos, 174 pesos. So if you buy 3 of them, you save enough money to get one for free. Milo is 220 pesos per kilo. Was not on sale, but that's how I buy it. And I mix my own coffee by mixing in a small amount of this cream top, which is only 70 pesos for a kilo, half a kilo. And I mix in like 2 bags of Milo and 6 bags, 10 of these large bags of coffee. 10 large bags of coffee, 2 bags of Milo, and then you could use this whole big bag. I mix it in a 1.5 gallon jug. Now that's one way that you can save a lot of money, because if you buy the individual packages in the store, they were 4.5 pesos when I got to the Philippines, and now they're 7 pesos in the big supermarkets. And if you buy them individually at a sari-sari store, they're 8 pesos, sometimes 9 pesos, and in the city 10 pesos. When you mix these 3 products together, you can make a cup of coffee for about 2 or 2.5 pesos, plus the time it takes you to mix these 3 items together. Now, if you have a good knife and you're coming to the Philippines, now I have a Gerber. That's my Gerber. But I bought this Gerber here because I didn't want to bring my good Gerber. My good Gerber was $100, and I didn't want to get it confiscated on the plane. I paid for this Gerber, which is not an automatic knife. You have to put your finger here and push it out. For this Gerber, 320 pesos, about $7. The blade on it is a stainless steel composite with probably chromium steel and maybe even some molybdenum. It's a good hard steel, but you can't get an edge on it, which is one of the reasons why I bought the grinder, because no one in the Philippines had a grinder for me to use except a machine shop. And if you have a machete that you like, a favorite machete, I'm sorry I didn't bring my machete. I have a favorite machete that's probably 60 or 70 years old, but I bought this machete for 320 pesos, and then I put my old camera strap on there and I tied it off and I epoxied the wooden battens on there a little bit better. So what we have here is the cost of living in the Philippines. Now you can see I have just finished this last corner up on top, and now I have my placards up around the perimeter of the room. That one got blown down. I left the door open the other day. We had a big storm, and that one just blew off its nail. There's a nail that holds it. So I have my placards, and I'm getting ready to moved these 3 boxes. This box has just got empty plastic containers for storage, and that one is empty altogether. So I'm going to get ready to move that into another corner of the apartment. Now in here, the bathroom. Now these are, I said I had ropes, ship's lines. I found these washed up on the shore, and it's 1.5 inch polypropylene, and it's pretty beat up, but it really smelled bad. It had all little sea creatures and fungus and stuff in it. Well, I mixed up a good batch of bleach, and in the Philippines you can get you can go to like a pool supply and pick up a small amount of chlorine crystals, make 5 gallons of strong bleach, which is how I do that. Probably make about 5 gallons for $40 for strong bleach. So I used that, and I just kept sticking different parts of it in the bucket when it wasn't being used for birthday presents. Let's see, is there anything else? I don't think so. Yeah, there's okay. I had a few things here I wanted to go over. This is my little kitchen. It's a beautiful kitchen. This is real tile, real granite tops. I don't use the stove. I'm on a diet. I only use vegetables. This water is soaking on the bottom. I only use vegetables. No more fried foods. No more potato chips. Haven't had ice cream in a couple of years. Haven't had a soda in over a year. But that's not because of the diet. That's just because I don't like soda. But anyway, there was some more pricing. I already showed you a bottle of tequila, which I keep well stocked. That will be enough. It's February now, so this will finish up March, April, May, June. I should have enough tequila for till the end of June with these 3 bottles. This is rum for the lady next door. Tomorrow's her birthday. Let's see. This is a food price. This stuff, the McCormick lemon pepper. Now, I like this in America, and I remember when the price of this item went up to close to $10, if I remember, and I'm going back 3 years, but I still would buy it. In the Philippines, it's not much less expensive. I really wish I really wish I would remember, but I am almost certain I paid $10 for this, or close to 500 pesos, and I could be mistaken, but I'm probably not. It's probably very close to that. Now, olive oil, I buy the imported olive oil by the gallon. Now, a gallon of olive oil, this Romance virgin olive oil, it's 5 liters, is 1,300 pesos, just round it off. However, it will last me a year, and I don't have to keep buying small bottles of olive oil. And if you buy small bottles, the equivalent of 5 liters that I pay 1,300 pesos for will cost you close to 6,000 pesos for small bottles like this, which is like less than a liter. It's more, the liter bottles are reasonable. Like 5 liter bottles would be probably come out to about 3,000 pesos. But when you buy the small bottles, it gets real expensive real fast, like a half a pint. Now, I buy the prepared mustard the same way. You have to ask the people where it is. Usually it's in the commercial section. Now, this prepared mustard, the whole gallon, is 120 pesos. But if you buy small mustard bottles like this, you will pay 70, well, yeah, you'll pay probably 45 pesos for this, but there's probably 30 of these, so you'll pay 1,200 pesos if you buy the small bottles, or 120 pesos, and I just fill up the small bottles by putting it in. First I put it in a mid-range container, which was oyster sauce, and then I can pour it into the small bottle, or if I need a large amount of mustard, I don't know, for a platter I'm making or something like that, I will just use this. Okay, so one more thing. Water is something that you need to have. These 5-gallon bottles of water are, we pay 20 pesos delivered, which is about 50 cents. It's actually a little less than 50 cents because pesos are now 45.5, 47 pesos per the dollar. So it's about 48 cents, 46 cents for a 5-gallon bottle. That's delivered to the house. Okay. So for now, what you don't want to do is buy a small bottle of Listerine. This gets pricey. It's 300 pesos, which is $7 for this little bottle. You want to buy it by the quart and fill up the little bottles individually, but last time they didn't have quarts, so I had to buy a small bottle. Killed me. And this is what happens to the coffee. This is my coffee mix that I like. I start off with 2 coffee, 1 brown sugar, but that was when I was mixing it in this container only. Now I use a much bigger container that I have stored under here. I used a container, this container actually, it's another Romance 5-liter container, and I mix it all up really quick with I have a big funnel. I went into the city yesterday, I was breathing road dust. A big funnel, and I put it in the top, and I just start dumping that stuff, and I do it outside because it gets dusty. And here is a little container storage that I have, and underneath here is dry storage. So that's how I save money. Now, I could have bought a skill saw, a saw blade, and a 100-foot extension cord for 7,500 pesos, but I wouldn't be able to use it during a blackout. I can't cut a log with it. If the log is wet, I can't cut the log with a skill saw when it's wet. You could, of course. Then you have to buy a more offset blade. That's not good for cutting plywood. I just bought a universal tool. So that's one way of saving money. Another way of saving money is to buy 5-liter bottles of olive oil and gallons of mustard. So you can save money in the Philippines if you shop smart. You need to really pay attention to your pesos. Another thing that you can save money on is air conditioning. This is what I started out today. Now I let this filter get dirty so I could do this video specifically. Now I want you to look at this. You cannot see through this filter. If you have a dirty air conditioning filter in your house, your air conditioning bill is going to be more each month, and it could be as much as 10 or 15% or 20%. If it's clogged, the air conditioner is just not breathing. Now this one you can still see through. I can see light through it, but I've seen air conditioning just clogged. People say the air conditioner doesn't work and it freezes up. Well, it freezes up because it's not breathing. So this is one way of saving 10% off your electric bill. And like I said, I did in fact leave this, get this dirty to show you how dirty it can be. And this is only 35 or 40 days. And the reason is because I do a lot of work in here, and there's also a lot of trees and other foreign debris outside that blows around. We had a few storms, and the place got dusty, and you sweep the floor, blah, blah, blah. Well, I sweep the floor. But, and another way to save money, and the last, is to put a piece of cardboard on. I got this cut out to fit the front door, and it's painted. It needs one more coat of paint, and then I'll just put 2 battens and 2 nails on each batten, and that will insulate the door, mostly for sound, because there's a lot of people walking around, and each person likes a different types of music, and through the building you can hear different types of music, and they hear my music, I hear their music, which is really cool. Some people have some really good guitar riffs going, musical guitar. So I heard some Latin guitar the other day. It was really good. I wish I had my CD player. I don't have a CD player. I have a little, 1,000 peso amplifier that amplifies the computer, but I will have a CD player soon. So there you have it. Sorry for that cough. Breathe. I would suggest if you go into the big city, you wear a mask, because I walked through the city yesterday for 3 hours, and I got beat up with the dust. So here we are. Now remember, certain things cannot be imported, even special ordered, and this gray soup is a special order. Now the herbama, this is local, so you can mix the local soup with the herbama, as long as Mr. Obama lets you get to it. There's always an Obama guy hanging out on the shelf, and when you go to reach for the herbama, he smacks your hand like that, like a little monkey. Like when we have a place here, we go visit the monkeys, and you go to give them food, and they will smack your hand to knock the food out, because they don't want to take the food from you. They are still wild animals. So they train the little dolls on the shelf where they sell the herbama. When you put your hand there to get the herbama, it smacks your hand. It's like a little rhesus monkey. It's really cute. Then it doesn't say anything, though. That's the thing. It's a very silent. You can hear it smack you, but it doesn't go like whoo, whoo, whoo. No warning. You go to put your hand on the soup, and it smacks your hand. Very cute little monkeys that we have in the stores here. And termites. I should do a video just for the termites, but no. Termites in the Philippines. Want to see what termites in the Philippines looks like? This is termites, and those black things are not rat droppings, they are termite dust. And that hole there's a grub in there that likes bamboo, and I let it grub its way through. It only stays in the middle, doesn't take much strength out of the sides, and it's been in there for a while, and the reason it's still alive is because I really wanted to make this video, and I will. So to give you an idea, it'll make this much dust around there in about 2 weeks. That was the previous 2-week pile, and that's the size of the hole that it makes. About 1 inch in diameter. That thing, it's not really a termite. It's like a grub. It's about 1 inch in diameter. Now I'm not exaggerating. It's probably 7/8 of an inch wide, 3 inches long. And when it has a black head with pincers, and when the head, it kind of folds out like the alien, and the pincers come out, they're like, you can hear at night. At night sometimes I hear, you can hear the little grubber, the little bugger chewing on the wood if it's really, really quiet and I'm sleeping on this end of the bed. It's a trippy thing, man. It's really trippy. More fun living in the Philippines, baby. And God day to everybody. From Michael Fazio, in Philippines. And remember, these placards are up here for a reason, and that reason will be known soon. I'm going to start giving instructions on ancient civilizations. Ha! He's crazy. He's gone off the deep edge. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, it is more fun in the Philippines, baby. That's right. Oy vey. And shalom from Rabbi Jew Barker in the Philippines. Oy vey. And God day to everybody.